Ready? Okay.
Does it sound good?
Yeah, it sounded fine. It wasn't like the best recording ever, but it'll do, pig. So where are you at and what are you doing?
We are... What a long day. Where are we?
We're in Leando.
Leando. Near Santander. It's like between Santander and Bilbao.
I love how you call it Santander.
Is it Santander?
Yeah. Santander. But you call it Santander.
Just like that. Santander.
That good old Santander Bank. We'll go pull some money out of that ATM. Santander. Oh my god, okay, so you can probably tell that we're quite tired. I just picked a little bit of mint. This is natural mint growing out of this field of crabgrass that we're sitting in. Spider! Little jumpy spider! So we have not had a podcast since before we even left, because we've been absolutely fucking exhausted every day. So, give a little bit of some background, I would say, of what has happened to us within the past, how long has it been?
Coming up on 2 weeks.
Okay, so
Close to
2 weeks.
the 22nd today. We left on the 8th.
That was a creaky as fuck
So yeah,
truck.
2 weeks.
Yeah, okay, so we had left Boise at 4 a.m.
The flight was at 6:30.
Yeah. And so we got to the Salt Lake City airport around, what was it, like 8?
I thought it was like 8:30.
Yeah, 8:30 or so. And then didn't have too much of a layover.
Which was nice.
And then just jumped on another plane to get to LAX. And then in LAX, we had almost 12 hours layover, which was fun. Not so much. There was moments of broken sleep in a corner near a 7-Eleven where we got some cheap... Yeah, Carl didn't sleep, but I tried and maybe got 10 or 15 minutes. And yeah, we had some really cheap 7-Eleven airport food, because if we would have had anything else, it probably would have cost an arm and a leg.
Basically, we got there and we didn't check in or go behind the gates for a while because we had 12 hours and everything's triple the price or more behind,
When you go through security. Yeah.
So we stayed on the outside until we had like
A few hours
or something.
Yeah. And then just kind of hung out and farted around until we were about to board our plane. While we were at the gate, Carl had heard that our names were cast over the speaker. And so I went up and I started chatting with the gal at the desk. She had told me that we needed a way to prove that we were going to be leaving the EU, because we did not have an onward flight out of the EU.
Just a one-way ticket in.
We had just a one-way ticket in. And so they were damn near not going to let us on the flight, but I kind of sweet-talked our way into the flight. and just kind of told her that we were planning on doing this pilgrimage. We didn't really know how long it would take us. We were also planning on, doing things on a budget, so it's not always economical to, book far in advance, and sometimes it's like you wait until the last minute.
Which is weird too, because I feel like lots of people just go there and they don't know how long they're going to stay.
Yeah.
And that they're so reluctant to let you even board the flight beforehand without an onward ticket.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess given the situation nowadays, it kind of makes sense, but it's just makes it inconvenient.
Well, yeah, but
I guess I get it.
But yeah, so she was, basically really sweet and kind of just was like, okay, I'm going to be sneaking you onto this plane, because we really had no proof of any other ticket, so. But we made it, and that was kind of a relief when we were actually boarding the little tram that took us to where our plane was on the runway. And the flight was pretty bare bones. So, and
everything cost money.
Yeah, everything cost money, so you didn't even get offered water without paying for it.
But it was kind of expected, given that this was a direct flight from LA to Barcelona to like $200.
Yeah, it was cheap, so we knew it was going to be like that.
We kind of expected it to.
The one thing I did not expect was how cold they were going to be having this flight be. It was absolutely freezing.
And it's August.
Yeah, and basically they charged you for blankets if you needed one.
Bitches.
So it was a little bit on the tricky side. But
so we grabbed our puffs and layered up.
We grabbed as many layers as we could and tried to keep warm. It was a little tricky. I hardly slept a wink, whereas Carl slept the entire flight, which was cool, and I'm glad that he was able to do that.
I was exhausted.
Yeah.
I think I only slept like 2 hours the night before.
Same.
So by the time the whole next day came around, I was pretty out of it. Yeah, it was like a 10-hour flight?
Yeah, it was just about 10 hours, probably, maybe even a little bit longer.
And I seriously felt like it lasted an hour.
Yeah,
and
that's
we were,
pretty cool.
About to land.
So yeah, I woke Carl up like half hour before we landed, and then, it always takes a little while to get off the flight.
We were in the very
back. We were also trying to keep in communication to our couch surfing host, who was nice enough to offer to pick us up from the airport, which was very sweet of her. And so her and her boyfriend came and met us after we had already gotten through customs and all that, which was
again was a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah, a little nerve-wracking. We didn't know how it was going to go with us getting into the EU officially.
Being allowed through.
Yeah, because we were having issues leaving the States. But no, nothing happened, and we were totally good to go. They stamped our passports in, and so we met up with our couch surfing host, Jimena, and her boyfriend Luis, and they drove us. Pretty much, it was a long drive too. So
I'd never been in the Barcelona airport.
Yeah.
I've been in the bus stations and stuff, but
yeah,
it's pretty far outside of the city. It was at least 30 to 40 minute drive.
Yeah, and they were nice enough to come pick us up.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. And so then we headed back to their house, or their apartment, and she is, I guess it would be her mostly, is very into puzzles. And I think that's kind of an understatement. She has an Instagram that's dedicated to puzzles, and her and her boyfriend go to competitions quite frequently, which is pretty awesome. And yeah, so it was pretty cool seeing her puzzle collection. We actually did bring her a birthday present because it was her birthday a couple days after we had stayed with them. Yeah, which was a puzzle from the States. So she was pretty excited about it.
She was.
Yeah. They had a couple cute dogs that they were kind of poodle-ish, but they were almost like bears. Like if they let their hair grow out, they looked like bears.
Mm-hmm.
Big bears. But they were both kind of puppies still, so really cute and just playful, and it was nice to have little dog friends right when we got there, you know. So, but they were super nice. They gave us coffees. They took us out to dinner, which was right down the road.
It's just around the corner, which is basically just like a
little sandwich shop.
They said it
And
was really good. Then he offered to get the check, and
yeah,
it was really nice. Just
really
a
nice.
Really nice gesture.
Yeah, for sure. So it was cool. And yeah, we had taken off the next day because we had booked a hostel the following night, and we started walking across town and had one night to stay in Barcelona again until we headed off to the Camino. We didn't do a whole lot besides kind of prepare ourselves for walking the Camino, so there wasn't really a whole lot of sightseeing. There was just kind of like a walking around town to get us trekking poles, to ship some of our things because we didn't want to carry all of the weight that we had in our packs. Yeah, it was basically kind of just get prepared.
Mm-hmm.
We had already booked a bus ticket to Irún, which is the start of the Camino, and we got up really early the next morning to catch that bus. We had walked pretty much across town to get to the bus station, and we get there, and we have like half hour till our bus is supposed to come, and we're waiting, and we're waiting, and waiting, and it never comes. And so we had seen a whole group of people who were waiting for the same bus kind of take off in the direction of the street, and we, rather than like ask them, what the hell's going on, we just kind of went to the information desk, which was a total kind of, God, that thing's loud. It was a total kind of Mr. Bean scenario, because he was taking his sweet time, and
we were also third in line, so we had to wait anyway.
Yeah. And so we're like, kind of like, okay, let's go. And he's just taking really long. He tells us to go upstairs, talk to a desk, which we went upstairs. There wasn't anybody there. A security guard had pointed us into the right direction of what desk to go to. Once we had gotten to the right desk, she told us basically that the bus had been rerouted, and I guess not rerouted, but the bus station had been changed to a different station, which was clear across town.
Yeah, so the bus had been rerouted.
Yeah, okay, so yeah.
So we were supposed to go to Barcelona Nord.
Yeah.
And without knowing so, the bus had been changed to going to Barcelona Sants.
Yeah.
Which is on the opposite side of town.
Mm-hmm.
And she told us that the bus was supposed to be leaving now, which was supposed to be originally 8.
No.
Is this gonna happen?
Oh my God. Okay, so this damn bell of the church nearby goes off for like 5 minutes. So we're gonna stop and then try it again. Oh. Never mind. We got lucky this time. Right on.
So the bus was originally supposed to be there at 8:45, was now switched to the other bus station across town, and it's supposed to leave there at 9:15, she says.
Yeah.
It's like 9:07.
Yeah, we had like 8 minutes to get all the way across
And
town.
it is across town.
And so we basically just haul ass out of the or the bus station. We get to the road where there were maybe like 2 or 3 cabs that were queued up just alongside the sidewalk, and no one was in them. So we're kind of panicking and just like, we're going to miss this bus that we already paid for, we already booked, because there's no cabbies around. So we're like hailing down cabs in the middle of the street, but they keep pointing to us that we have to go back to where the queue is. And we're going, there's nobody in the cabs. But finally, someone had popped up, the first one in line, and so we get into his cab real quickly, and we try to get our asses down or across town to the bus station Sands. And he's hauling ass, like going super, super fast. He didn't speak very good English, so he was wondering if there was a problem, and we, tell him sí problema, and that, like, trying to, in broken Spanish, tell him that we missed our bus. What is with the bells? It was like 2 minutes ago. Okay. Oh, and that's it.
Yeah, but he was asking us, when is your bus leave? 10 o'clock? And we were like, no, it's 9:15.
Yeah.
And he was like, what?
Yeah.
And with relaying to this cab next to him, this lady whose English was better, she kept saying, impossible, impossible.
Yeah, she's like, no, impossible, impossible. And we're like, well, let's hope, you know. And so traffic was bad. There was an accident where a lady had fallen off her motorcycle. There was, it was just like, it was hectic as shit. And so we were really not expecting to make it. However, I still had like a little glimmer of hope that it could be possible. So we did get to the other bus station, and there was one bus that was kind of there all alone, and we run up to it, and we're like, Irún, and they're like, yeah. So we luckily had made that bus. And yeah, barely. They were pretty much already packed everything underneath the bus. They were about to walk onto the bus and close the doors, and we showed up. So that was kind of like a miracle. It was amazing.
It was a stressful morning.
Very stressful morning. This is following all the other shit that we've been through. So then we jump on this bus that takes us probably like 6 or 6.5 hours. We did have a break in the middle of there. But got us to Irún, which is the start of the Camino del Norte, which is, it's basically what we've been doing since then, which is walking every day. We did have one rest day in
Bilbao.
Sorry, I was burping. We had one rest day in Bilbao. I think it started maybe the day after Irún in San Sebastian, that every single city that we've stayed at has had fiestas going on.
Yeah.
So it's, I think, the Basque kind of annual, I would say almost like just their fiestas. They're celebrating their kind of unity, their culture. They want to, separate themselves from Spain
and
France. And so they're trying to, show that, I don't know. I'm so tired right now. Like trying to make sense of that shit. But
yeah, basically, so we get up. We had been getting up between 5 and 5:30. And then we go to bed around 10, but then it's like parties all night. It's hot, and Spain isn't set up with like air conditioning, so they just have windows open.
Mhm.
But with the windows open and hearing people partying all night, and then fireworks going off at, midnight, and people banging on drums and parades, and it's impossible to sleep with. Even with the windows shut, it's so loud.
Yeah. So,
and it goes till like 1, 2 in the morning, and then you get up at 5.
And you basically walk all day long.
As well as walking, and it's humid and hot. We've had a couple rain days. It also takes a toll because
it's crazy, man. Like, I don't even know how we're still standing.
And also, this route, compared to different routes of the Camino, is very up and down. There's a lot of ascents, there's a lot of descents. There's not a whole lot of flat.
No.
There's a lot of road, too. It's just been tough, and we're exhausted.
Yeah, we really...
If you couldn't tell.
Just by the sound of our voices. So, yeah, this is kind of what we've been dealing with.
I think we just finished our 10th day of walking.
Yeah. And, the first couple of days, I think we were still kind of pumped to be on the Camino. We weren't...
It's been really pretty, though.
It's been gorgeous. And,
For the most part.
For the most part, yes. A lot more of it is along the road than I had expected. And by the end of the days, I feel like my feet just want to detach themselves and run off without me.
That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. It feels like my feet are chorizos that are stuffed to the point of bursting. Yeah. So, literally, my feet feel like they're going to explode at the end of the day. Every day. And, yeah, this is what we've been doing. There have been a whole lot of... Oh, my God, I just itched my mosquito bite. There's been a whole lot of thoughts about why we're doing this again. Thoughts of missing family. I think thoughts of what...
The future.
Yeah, what our future holds.
What are we doing?
What are we doing with our lives? What do we want to do with our lives? Why is anything the way it is? I don't know. So, yeah, literally. It's about, what time is it? It's about 11 after 8 o'clock in the evening on a, what is it, Wednesday? Wednesday
the 22nd.
night. The 22nd. And I feel like I could go to sleep right now.
It does cool off at night for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
There are some kind of low-lying clouds, but it's mostly clear. It's kind of more so fog, like coastal fog with some clouds.
Yeah.
It looks like the sun is behind the mountains, but not yet sunset. But already the air is cooling off.
Yeah, it's nice.
Because when the sun is up, it is hot.
It is hot. And I think I've been more sweaty on this Camino than I have any of the other Caminos.
It's the humidity.
Yeah, it's the humidity, and it stinks like no other because all you eat is bread. I feel like a walking piece of cheesy bread in the forest throughout the day. We're looking at each other with very tired eyes. So yeah.
So we only have like a month more of walking and doing.
That's it. Well, not A full month.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if what you're doing with that grass is coming over your microphone. You're like chomping on your blade of grass. Yeah, so just to give you an idea roughly of how long we walk average on a daily basis, it could be anywhere from 16 kilometers
to
to
26, 7, 8.
28, close to 30. I think we've only had a couple, like, 30 or more days. But yeah, as far as miles, that's anywhere from, 12 to 18 miles a day?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So it's a lot. And to carry your pack is the one thing that makes all the difference. Because we've already shipped, once in Barcelona we shipped items, and then once in a town outside of Bilbao. So we knew that we had too much in the beginning, but we even underestimated how much we needed to get rid of. So we now are carrying a pretty good amount of weight. Loud kids. So yeah, and then just with the Spanish hours being very different as well, like people start waking up at, 11, 10 or 11. Shops don't open up until around then. Then they close for siestas at 2, don't open back up for 5. Dinners, they don't even start until like 8 or 8:30, which when you're a pilgrim and you've already gotten up at like 6 and then you're ready for dinner by probably 6, it makes it a little difficult to have to wait 2 hours for your meal. So we just cooked ourselves something tonight, which worked out pretty good. But yeah, we'll probably be in bed by 10 at the latest. Probably be asleep by close to 10.
I would like that.
And then we gotta get up tomorrow and repeat everything again. I just find it kind of funny how, as a human, we kind of tend to forget the negative and just focus on the positive. So I remember thinking back to the Caminos before and being like, oh, I loved them. They were amazing. And I made all these friends, and we had cool walks and talks, and we got to see some amazing Spanish countryside. And why did I forget about the times where I would be walking and my feet felt like they were going to explode, to the point where I had to count to 100 times over, It's like, there is a reason why they call this a pilgrimage, because it's hard fucking work. It's not easy. It's not a walk in the park, especially the North Route, and how much road there is. So, that's what we've been doing.
Wrap it up.
Yeah. Wrap it up. You can tell what I have to deal with old Grumpa over here.
You've just been trailing on the last.
You're a trailer.
Yeah.
That's all we do is trail on every day. Alright. Enough of the cheesiness. What do you want to say? Over and out. 10-4. Toodles.
Buen camino.
Adios.
Adios.
Buen camino.
I'm gonna go lay down.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we love you all. We're doing okay. We're sore every day.
We're alive.
We're alive.
Well.
We're Welsh-ish. We're Welsh. Alright. I will talk to you next time.